Vielen Dank, Frau Zimmer. Das Wort hat jetzt für die EFD-Fraktion Herr Farage.
Well, I must congratulate you, Mr Samaras, for getting the Greek presidency off to such a cracking start. Your overnight successful negotiation in the trialogue on MiFID, I'm sure, will have them dancing in the streets of Athens. No matter that your country, very poorly advised by Goldman Sachs, joined a currency that it was never suited to. No matter that 30% are unemployed, that 60% of youth are unemployed, that a neo-Nazi party is on the march, that there was a terrorist attack on the German embassy. No, don't worry about all that, because the trialogue on MiFID has been a success. And in many ways, it sums up the two Europes. The Europe that's talked about in here by the dreamers, who want to impose a new United States of Europe with an identity and a currency, and the real world out there. And you come here, Mr Samaras, and you tell us that you represent the sovereign will of the Greek people. Well, I'm sorry, but you're not in charge of Greece, and I suggest you rename and rebrand your party. It's called New Democracy. I suggest you call it No Democracy, because Greece is now under foreign control. You can't make any decisions. You've been bailed out and you've surrendered democracy, the thing your country invented in the first place. And you can't admit that joining the euro was a mistake, because, of course, Mr Papandreou did that, didn't he? He even said there should be a referendum in Greece. And within 48 hours, the unholy trinity that now run this European Union had him removed and replaced by an ex-Goldman Sachs employee puppet. We are run now by big business, big banks, and in the shape of Mr Barroso, big bureaucrats. And actually, that's what these European elections are really going to be all about. It's going to be a battle of national democracy versus EU state bureaucracy. Whatever you may say in this chamber, the people out there don't want a United States of Europe. They want a Europe of sovereign states trading and working together. And I believe the European elections are going to mark a watershed. Up until now, everybody has thought, much as they may not like the development of the European Union, that it was inevitable. That myth of inevitability will be shattered by the European elections this year. Thank you.
Das Wort hat jetzt für die fraktionslosen Kolleginnen und Kollegen Frau Sinclaire.
Thank you, Mr President. Kalamela, Mr Samaras. It is poignant that Greece should take over the presidency at this time. Greece is the living embodiment of the failure of the Troika and indeed the Euro project. Mr Samaras, you talk about the mistakes of your country over decades. Surprisingly, you failed to put any blame on where it truly belongs, on the pro-federalising Eurocrats who ignore the convergence criteria of the Maastricht to push on with their project of a federal Euro-state. Linking a Greek economy with such a powerhouse as Germany was utter madness, and your people paid the price, not least a suicide rate that increased by 46%. In your speech, your first commitment was to ever closer EU integration. Are you not learning from the lessons of history? Are you not condemned to relive them? You cannot play political make-believe with people's lives. Your people and the people across Europe came out to the streets to show their displeasure at the medication for the Eurocrats' mental illness. Greece is the birthplace of democracy, and this year the people across Europe will have the chance to put the dagger in the heart of the European Union. A significant amount of these people have plenty of time to go to the polling station as they are unemployed, a core failure of the EU project. Mr Samaras, you are in make-believe land if you think the EU is the solution. In the UK, we similarly have a leader who lives in make-believe land, who believes that he can renegotiate serious powers from the EU before a referendum. But we have heard this con trick before. The British people have waited far too long to have the choice to leave this corrupt and doomed mess that is the EU. In May's elections, we will let the people decide. We will put the option on the ballot paper in Britain for the people to demand a referendum now.
Vielen Dank. Das Wort hat jetzt für die EVP-Fraktion Frau Giannakou.
Κύριε Πρόεδρε. Κύριε Πρόεδρε του Συμβουλίου, κύριε Πρόεδρε της Ευρωπαϊκής Επιτροπής, η σημερινή πρώτη παρουσία της ελληνικής Προεδρίας στο Ευρωπαϊκό Κοινοβούλιο